Moving through the Lenten season, we contemplate Jesus' preparation for his earthly ministry with prayer and fasting, which then culminated with a period of great temptation. On Sunday, we saw instruction from the book of James reminding us that, first of all, we are going to endure temptation. We are going to face temptation. It shouldn't surprise us. Temptation does not come from God. It's an attack from the enemy. And God, in fact, provides the way of escape in temptation. Most importantly, I think we saw that those who endure temptation receive that awesome crown of life, a great reward. As we saw in the first chapter of James, he addresses what he refers to as various trials. Let me read for us from James chapter 1, verses 2, 3, and 4. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. He refers to these various trials. Some of these trials are temptation from the enemy, as he goes on to explain later in that first chapter. Some of these trials are just hard times, maybe even tests that come our way. The one common aspect of all of these various trials, we would love to avoid them. And yet James says, count it all joy. Really? Joy in trials? Let me read again what he said in verses 3 and 4. The testing of your faith produces patience, but let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Hold that thought for a second. And I want to turn our attention to where we are today in this COVID crisis. In the middle of all the COVID chaos, our attention these days is being drawn to the hope found in a vaccination. In fact, just this week, new groups are now becoming eligible to receive the vaccine right here in Wilson County. Those spots are filling up fast. I think there's about a month-long waiting list right now. Most people seem really anxious to get the vaccine so that they can have that immunity to the virus. It's fascinating. Now, I'm not an expert on infectious diseases. I'm not a physician. I'm certainly no expert on lots of things here, and I'm making no recommendations. But the way that vaccines work is that they give you just a tiny bit of that infection, so the body will build up its own immunity against the disease, or at least they give you an imitation of that infection. But the end result is the same. Your body builds up an immunity, builds up its own immunity against the disease. So we are willing, if necessary, to endure minimal side effects of a vaccine for the purpose of being stronger against the real disease. When our bodies have been built up to be able to withstand the attack of a virus, we are healthier and stronger. Dare I say it? Joyful? Do you see what I did there? I think the principle is similar to that which we find in James' writing, although it's not biology. Count it all joy when you face various trials, because there is a positive outcome that makes the trials worth it. The testing of faith produces patience. When patience does its work, he says, we move toward maturity. In his words, lacking nothing. The trials aren't fun. Temptation's not my idea of a good time. But then, neither is a vaccine. But for many of us, enduring a vaccine is worth the end result. A built-up immunity to a serious disease. And according to James, enduring various trials is worth the end result as well. Spiritual maturity, lacking nothing. Count it all joy. God bless you. We hope to see you Sunday.